Very well, welcome back to KBC News Check, and many thanks indeed for keeping me company. Of course, remember we are live from the broadcasting house here in the county of Nairobi and also on all our social media spaces. We are live. On the second hour, as I had mentioned earlier on, is that we are looking at governance and ethical leadership. The by-elections in 2 days, and so we are not campaigning any time now because the campaigns should be done and dusted 48 hours to the poll date. And of course, we have seen a number of things that you wouldn't say that are very conducive to campaigning. We've seen violence, we've seen intimidation, we've seen insults. We are looking at governance here. IBC has said that indeed it is ready to conduct a free, fair and credible election. But we have seen, and even in part of our leaders that we have, elected leaders, we have seen trust deficit, we have seen integrity issues as well. And that is what we are going to be looking at on this 1 hour. And just joining me on set, we are privileged to be hosting Honorable Peter Mutua Mutuku, a policy and governance expert and also head of the Nairobi Delivery Unit. And just next to him, we have FCS. Jeremiah Karanja, a governance and policy expert and also the CEO of ICS. Karibu sana, Bwana Karanja.
Thank you.
And good to have you again.
Thank you.
Mwesh, we are having the by-elections and we are looking at, the integrity. We are looking at some of the issues. A practical example, in my county of Embu, we have a by-election on the Mbere part of Embu County, Mbere North. And you must have seen on newspapers, I think it was a Saturday newspaper, where the headline was talking about the integrity question of the UDA party candidates. But that's just it, you know. IBC, you know, the guy has already been cleared. What sort of leadership are we seeing in our country? We have MPs who have still pending and active cases in court. This should be a turnaround. But unfortunately, we are not seeing that.
Well, first of all, let me put records straight.
Yes.
I am Peter Mutuku Mutua.
Oh, not Peter Mutua Mutuku.
Yeah, that is a okay. I don't even know that who
Peter
is that.
Mutuku Mutua.
Mutuku Mutua.
Yes.
Mutuku comes before Mutua.
All right.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I appreciate the fact that I've been invited here to discuss a matter of this nature, a weighty matter.
Yeah. And
the other important thing of notice is that we are at KBC Channel 1.
Yeah.
And people need to know that KBC is unbiased.
Yeah.
Because the matters that we are discussing in the past, you would not have thought of discussing such. And because of the foundation laid by you as the host and the which allows me of contradiction, and I see the as I see. Let me go straight to the issue of the by-elections that we have.
Yep.
One of them being in Bere, where we have a number of candidates, and one was, who appeared in the Standard newspaper.
Yep. As
a man that had issues at KNH with the a project to do with the, let's say it's a government project.
Around 600 million.
600 million, over 600 million. Yeah. It had to do with the misappropriation, and there was issues that we had not gotten answers before he went to contest. Yeah. And the fact that he decided, and this one is a wake-up call to all of us who decide to seek the services of learned guys in terms of advocates of High Court of Kenya, and you get into what is called DIT poll, where you change your name from Joe to Jeru, or June or something, like he changed from Leo Muthende Jeru to Leo wa Muthende. So as to, probably the intention was to hide his original name, and people need to know it's not the name that commits a crime. It is a person in that name, and the person in that body does not change by changing the name. So what this one shows us that we have crises in this nation, and crises are to do with the ethics, good governance, and above all, good morals, and the understanding that any position that you attempt to hold or you already have, it is in the trust of the public. So the public would not wish to be represented by such. So the people of Beira North, should they then settle for that candidate, it is a clear indication that they are not different from him. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually, as we always say, that our leaders, we should look at ourselves, because our leaders are a true reflection of what we are doing here as a country. Yeah, and Barakaranja, I'm looking at the last conversation that we had.
Yes.
We were talking about how we have seen a crop of leaders. In every election cycle, we have leaders with questionable integrity, who have cases pending in court. Practical example, if you ask me, when it comes to Leo Amodende, if you ask me, I think UDA should have made a pause in regards to actually, giving him an opportunity to, to contest. First of all, let's clear this, and then maybe we can do this. But unfortunately, it's the ruling party, but it didn't do that. The crop of leaders that we have in the country, just like Mheshimiwa has said, is a true reflection of who exactly we are.
Yes, without necessarily addressing that particular matter, allow me to address the general, because part you mentioned, and you cannot, without talking about, allow me to refer to the Jesus Christ, who the church looks up to, said something very profound. He said that if a blind man leads another blind man, they would all of them end up into a ditch. So part of the challenges we have in this part of the world is that we have consistently ensured that our leaders are blind, and therefore you cannot expect, if you are being led by a blind person, to end up anywhere else other than a ditch. And therefore, what I would want to say to the electorates, not necessarily just in this by-election, but generally, wherever you are casting your vote, you need to check the eyes of the person you're electing properly to see whether they can actually see. Not the physical eye, but the eyes of integrity. Is it somebody who is ethical? Because if you elect a hyena to come and guard the sheep, what do you expect to happen? And therefore, the electorate should not make a decision and then let alone come and complain, our leaders are not doing this or they are doing the other. Yet we are the ones who have put them in office. And finally, let me say this. Sometimes why as an electorate, I will go and vote a candidate, even knowing that he is of questionable character, is because there is this perception, this is the most popular candidate anyway, and therefore even if I don't choose, or I have been provided two options, both of them are evil. So you are trying to choose between maybe the third one is very unpopular. But I would say you better go with the least unpopular. Better your vote be lost. But at the back of your conscience, you should never have to regret that I'm one of the people who actually participated in putting into office a person who let alone bring trouble to me. I think the guiding principle is every decision you make, you should ask yourself, 10 years from now, would I regret the decision that I made? So if you will regret that decision, don't make it. So when you're going to elect a candidate, if you think 10 years from now you will regret, and is a memory you don't want to entertain, that I'm the one who participated in putting that person in office, don't make that decision, because you will have participated in taking or electing a leader who is blind, and therefore you together with the other people will also end up in a ditch just like that leader.
Mheshimiwa, I totally concur with what FCS Karanja is talking about, but I'm looking at in as much as we want to blame ourselves because we are the ones who put that leader with questionable integrity, do you believe IEBC, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, are really harboring this? Because if at all a candidate has any questionable character, that should be brought to the fore and that candidate should be barred.
The issue here is not IEBC. Remember,
or ESCC. They have issued, they just issued advisories that this guy has this case, this case, this case. I believe they should be telling Kenyans, this guy has this issue. That is why we're not going to clear him.
Well, you see, the issue is not IBC or ESCC. The issue is governance issue, and that's where we are here to look at where we have failed. And
are they letting us down?
The governance is letting us down to the extent that political goodwill controls everything in this nation. In this sense, ESCC had pronounced itself to the effect that Mudende had issues. So when he gave his advisory together with ODPP, IEBC should not have cleared this person. Then the question is, under what circumstances did IEBC clear the candidate? So we need to go back and say what processes were done for this candidate to find himself, first of all, even being allowed to campaign. Secondly, to be even a flag bearer of the ruling party.
Yeah.
And the president and the deputy going around campaigning for him. Is there something that was known by some people that was not communicated to higher authorities? Because I don't expect the office of the deputy president, together with the president himself, would wish to make such a blunder. Because what happens today dictates the precinct at which we look at them, and thereafter the way we are going to be judging their actions, their behavior, and even their silence. Because behavior includes even when you are silent. So the problem here basically is, and that's why we are here to talk about governance and ethical leadership. A candidate in public domain, Kenya has instruments of governance. Kenya has institutions that have the capacity to know, Joy, whether it's good or bad. You remember, Joy, the day you came to this institution, KBC, which is a government institution, I just want to remind you, the moment you are hired, your file, personal file, started growing. So every year, it grows to some level. The question is it positively growing or negatively growing? This gentleman, Leo, when he was working with the Kenyatta National Hospital, he has a file, and a file of having working in Kenyatta National Hospital is a public document. Yeah. Remember, even your document that is there is a public document. Somebody can walk from all walks of life and to demand to know, they want to see who is Joy before hiring him. You want to tell me that those institutions that are supposed to certify, clear candidates, and give recommendation, they were asleep? No, they weren't asleep. Somebody somewhere either misused his powers or misused the powers that he doesn't have to clear Wamudende. So this one is telling that there's somewhere there's something wrong. And maybe before I hand over to my friend here, today we are discussing is about church governance and ethical leadership. Yes. Probably it would have been bigger than church. Not that church is small. Maybe it's religion, because there are other parts in this world that people have candidates, and some of those parts in this nation sometimes is a church mainly represents Christians. Church, when you say church, is about Christians. But if you say generalized relations, and why I'm coming to this point, when I was told I'm coming to discuss also, I took some time to do some little research. Yeah. And I found that there was a man called Elijah who was a prophet. And then there were prophets of Baal. And they had a situation where they needed to be together to prove which one answers and which one does not.
Yes.
And I found that Elijah did not tell the prophets of Baal that they cannot be at the same place doing the same thing. He allowed them to do their own thing. And then he came later, he did. And why I'm saying this is that just the audience to know, we are not just here about, it's not just about Christianity. Governance and ethical leadership is not just about Christians. It's about, basically, it's about religion. What does your religion tell you? That you follow what the religion says. Because why I'm brought in this one of 1 Kings chapter 18 is about Elijah and the prophets of Baal. And I can see Elijah allowed them to do their own thing. And that's why I'm not one of the people who oppose at national, when we have like national functions, where we have different people, including traditionalists, praying. I have no problem with that. They pray, and also we pray, we see which God answers. But I think basically, I thought maybe the part of church we need to explain, it's not just we are not.
I think even my director is listening. I think we should have put religion, because at the end of the day, there are so many people who have questionable even character, and they are not from the church or maybe from another religion. I think religion serves us very well to ensure that. But you believe we have seen questionable characters even in church, and not only that, the church has been accepting, some churches have been accepting some of these questionable cash.
You see, it's the reason
of integrity as well.
The reason I've brought in that aspect so that it can be broad-based. I don't know the Karanja, I'm wasting time, so that it can be broad-based. Because when we just narrow down to church and we say Leonard, what about somebody who is not a Leonard, is a Patel, is a Haji, is a something else, and misbehaving? You see, for example, I have always advocated this, and I want to say it here and now, that if I'm a member of an AIC church, that I am, I shouldn't go, I don't know you're a member of which church, I shouldn't, because I want to be an MP, I want to be a governor in Nairobi, for example, an MCA, or the President of the Republic of Kenya, that you, in your church, a certain Catholic church somewhere, or ACK, PCA, or such to speak, even Methodist, they have their own program. But you find that in the past, their programs have been disrupted because a big man in court has come. And I wish we had leaders like Paul. Paul in the Bible, he says that in the book of Galatians 2, when he came and he found Peter misbehaving, he corrected Peter publicly. Because Peter started misbehaving when other people were sent by James. Then he started not eating with the Gentiles. He started went to the old way. In other words, if you have chosen the way is if you are a leader in this nation, you should behave according to the dictates of the structures that made you a leader. Yes.
Karanja, I'm picking from where Mheshimiwa has left, and we had extended Nori Blanche to the clergy, but unfortunately we were not able to come because of a few things here and there. But I'm looking at governance and political parties, you know. That's where governance starts, and especially when you're seeking a seat here in the country. Do political parties have adequate ethical codes? And if so, when it comes to the mechanism for issues like internal discipline, because these are some of the things when we talk about leaders with questionable integrity, with questionable behavior, this is where it's all supposed to start. Party organ is where it's supposed to begin. Are these political parties letting us down as well?
Of course, those structures and those policies are there in paper because it's one of the requirements under the Political Parties Act. The question is to whether or to what extent they adhered to. And the issue of ethics is never about whether there is law or not, because even as people do whatever they are doing, is not because they are not aware that they should not do that. Somebody has not made a personal decision to be a person of integrity, to have character. And therefore, and also the other thing is also the enforcement of it. Because if I know, for example, I steal 20 shillings from you, and most likely you will not know that I have stolen, I will steal and steal again. Secondly, if I know that even if I steal 20 shillings from you and you know, but you do nothing, I will also have the inducement to steal. Thirdly, if also I know that if I steal 20 shillings from you, you will know, you will take the action, but that action is not commensurate to the 20 shillings. Maybe the punishment is 10 shillings. You will be told to pay 10 shillings. So I have the inducement to steal 20 shillings from you. And therefore, we need to, one, ensure that what is there in policy, in law, is actually enforced. But it's not only enforced, but we should also ensure that the people who break the law, then the punishment they get, they will regret why in the first place they broke the law. But if there is no such fear, then that's what you see. If you go, for instance, by the way, some of the countries that we keep mentioning here, in the Middle East and all that, you go in those countries, you'll be surprised. A great population, a great number of people there are actually Africans. They are Kenyans doing great things there. You leave your money there, they will not steal. What happens when they come here, the same person, when you leave money here, they will steal. It's because they know when they are there, if they dare maybe break a traffic rule, there are repercussions. But they know when they come back here, even if you break the traffic rule, and if you are a privileged person, I don't know whether Mheshimiwa has those vehicles that come overtaking everybody, as if he never knew he is coming to KBC, and now he wants to pretend that the rest of us have nowhere to go. He is the most important person. Pass the wrong side of the road, breaking all the traffic rules. And now when you set that standard as a leader, what do you expect of the rest of the people? There is a saying that says, monkeys see, monkeys do. When our leaders set such as the bar, then what you expect in the society is the chaos. You just alluded to the by-elections that we are to have, the violence we have witnessed and all that. But the violence coming from the population is as a result of also what happens from our leaders. What do we see in county assemblies, even in the National Assembly? What do we hear our elected leaders talk in public? So the same is replicated in the population. So you have a situation where the society is breaking the law because as a leadership, we ourselves are not following the law. And finally, is to say that, yes, it is important, as Mheshimiwa has said, we need to relook at some of those governance structures. The laws are there. I will tell you that this country has more than enough laws. If only we are just to implement just a quarter of them, we will have. So, but the issue is at individual levels, and this is what leadership is really about. Leadership is service. You are serving humanity. You are serving your nation. So as a leader, we need to have that call for servant leadership, that we are serving not just for our personal gain, but we are serving a society to also leave a legacy. Some of the people who have served in the public space, when you hear their name, there is nothing good you can, even though they did very many other good things, but what comes to mind is some of the things they did, unethical practices. And therefore, if you want to be remembered, because the Bible says, the book of Proverbs, that the memory of the righteous is blessed. So if you want us to be blessed when we remember you, and also if you want to have a blessed memory, just do the right thing. And everybody will enjoy when they think about you.
It's a good thing that you guys, the two of you are mentioning the Bible and actually quoting verses, just to put it into context. And I really like where you're coming from and the way you've put it in terms of the role model deficit, so to speak. Because monkey see, monkey do. What message are we sending even to the young generation? You're one of the top leadership in Nairobi. and you have people working under you, but you have to show them a good role model. You have to be a good role model. But what message we even young voters, candidates who have documented, are nominated, funded, leaders?
That's a good and a difficult question to respond.
Yeah.
Leadership. A leader, you are like a lead. It's like, copy that people will not raise above you. All right? And when I'm corrupt and when I have issues of integrity, I have issues even with clearance from the relevant institutions, and I get clearance that is questionable, you don't think that I will have the energy and the energy and the freedom to rebuke some wrongs when they come across. You see the reason why Paul had the capacity to rebuke Peter, though Peter went ahead of him, because Peter was there when he met Jesus while Jesus was alive. But Paul met Jesus in the vision, the resurrected Jesus, that he had no privilege of having personal relationship with Jesus, but he rebuked Peter because he was not living like Peter. So if you live in a certain way, you will have no way of rebuking your juniors. For example, I work in an institution called Nairobi City County Government. As you have rightly said, I have people under me. So if those people, whatever they are doing, for example, as the head of service delivery unit, I receive a complaint from a citizen in this nation, in this city, for example, in Westlands, Runda, or anywhere, including Dandora, anywhere. And then the issue that they have with our officers is the same issue they have with me. So where will they go to? So leadership, when anybody aspiring to be a leader, they should first of all assess themselves. Will they work, walk, sleep, instruct according to the dictates of the system they are working for? Remember, in governance, there are structures. And those structures are supposed to, as the ones that are supposed to guide you. For example, if a certain position, the requirement was a bachelor's degree, and you do not have your fake papers, and then you stand there, you want to give people instructions. First of all, you are a wrong person in the right position. No, you are the wrong person in the wrong position in a system, and then you want other people around. So first of all, before even we think about ethics, though we do not have a way of measuring your morals, because what starts first is morals. Morals dictate what ethics you are going to practice, because ethics is external, morals are internal. It's the way you have been brought up, which institutions, maybe school, church, community, and friends dictates what morals you espouse. Then it's from these morals that you will be either a person of integrity or not. And integrity now comes, it's about now ethics. So if the community, for example, in this issue, all the people who are contesting in different parts of this country, they are about 23 by-elections, including one senator in Baringo, a number of MPs as a result of some of them having lost some of the MPs, and other MPs being appointed to the current government. All those ones, wherever, let's not just look at Bere North, wherever, are those people of integrity? Are they known by the people around them, the leadership, elders, church leadership? For example, Karancha went to school with people. They know him. right from the time he was in primary school, secondary school, and in the university.
Yeah.
There are people, while I was having interaction with him out there, he mentioned somebody that I know that they were in the same university with. So now that tells me he went to the university. The next thing is maybe is when I have interaction with him, did you finish? Because there is an issue of going and finishing.
Yes.
Okay? That's very important. So if we know very well, Karanja went, and God forbid it's not the Karanja, another Karanja that never finished. And that Karanja never finished is holding a certain position that the law dictated clearly. This is for somebody who has this and that. Then Karanja himself, that Karanja that is not present here, holding a position that he's not supposed to hold according to the dictates of the structures and the law, then that Karanja has a problem in his wiring, and that one is serious integrity issues. And then this one births to, and then where Karanja is we are supposed to take to him some papers, our qualifications, for him to go through them and certify. How would you disqualify a person who has faked papers if you yourself you have faked your paper and found yourself in a certain position? For me, the people, I am not going to, because today we are just discussing generally.
Yeah.
And the decisions that people are going to make across the country in these by-elections that are happening the day after tomorrow will tell us and the world what kind of electorate you are.
Yes, and switching gears from where Mheshimiwa has left, and I'm looking at the responsible voter. The reason being, we are always putting the blame on the leaders. You know, they have integrity issues during the campaigns. They, you know, you line up and you're given 200 shillings. And we have seen on social media some short clips there, you know, people just lining up to be given something. But those people who are actually accepting these as well, and they will be at the ballot, they really can talk about the pot calling the kettle, the case of the pot calling the kettle black, you know. If you're accepting any process that, you know, have to influence the way, you know, you vote, not because of the integrity and the leadership skills of that candidate, just because you have been given something. The voter is not contributing to responsible governorship. Governance, actually.
I think I would want to respond to that and tie it with the topic of the discussion, which is church governance and ethical leadership. And ask myself also, what is the role of the church in that? And again, we said you cannot talk about the church without referring to the Bible. I go back to the scriptures. We have people in the Bible like Nathan, who was a prophet, and who would confront King David and tell him, on this and this you have erred and all that. And I think the church has, whether or not it has fully played its full role is a question for another discussion. But that is part of the contribution that the church, and by extension the religious institutions and other civic institutions, need to embrace more for purposes of civic education. Again, the same book in one called Hosea says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. I think as a citizenry, as the population, some of those people, there are those who do either out of despair because somebody has not eaten, and here you are giving them 100 shilling, which they have to work for 2 days to earn that 100 shillings. Some are doing out of despair, some is purely because, and unfortunately, ignorance. You may be aware, recently I was also admitted as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. So let me also say, yes.
The High Court.
Yes. We also say that ignorance of the law is no defense. So ignorance, even of what you need to know, it's not consequences, whether you knew or not. So the electorates sometimes make some of those decisions because of ignorance, simply because they don't know. But that lack of knowledge is what the Bible says is what makes people perish. And in the verse below there, it says, because they have rejected knowledge, I have therefore also rejected them. So God also rejects us for being ignorant. And therefore, one of the key role of institutions like the church, and even institutions like where I work, Institute of Certified Secretaries, which is a professional body dealing with matters governance, I think one of the things we need to do more is civic education, to educate the population not only on their rights. I know this country is very big on rights, and everything people are just talking about my right.
Yeah.
But we also need to educate people on their responsibilities. The population needs to be informed that it's not only their right to vote, but they also have a responsibility of ensuring that the people they put into office are people of integrity. They normally say that garbage in, garbage out. If you put in garbage in that electoral vote, in that voting kit, you still expect garbage out in terms of the leaders you get, because they will just be garbage readers, because those are the garbage that we have put in. So what we need to do, I think, is more of civic education to the population on what, and because we are also approaching 2027, I think the next few years we need more civic institutions and education to educate people responsibility in voting. What should you be looking for? This money that is being dished to you, where does it come from? It is your own money. Constructing a road somewhere that somebody is dishing you 50 shillings. Tomorrow, when you no hospital to attend to you, because the money that you have over 50 shillings, which cannot cure your hunger forever. So I think that is the kind of discussion we need to start having the next 2 years in terms of voter education.
Yeah, I totally concur in terms of voter education and civic education, because even we look at the country, we don't even have a Public Participation Act. We are talking about public participation being enshrined in the Constitution, but we don't have a law exactly that is the foundation or the fundamentals of that. But Mheshimiwa, picking from where Karanja has left, I'm looking at the cost of election in Kenya. In 2027, maybe I would want to seek a seat. Of course, I'm not going to be seeking that seat, but I would want to seek a Nairobi senatorial seat. And Mheshimiwa here, you're also seeking that seat, but you have deep pockets. I don't. This also contributes to the crooked leaders that we end up with, because you use your influence and your deep pockets, whereas I have a very good manifesto, I'll have, very good ideas of how to transform Nairobi, but you will overtake me and, win the election. The cost of election in Kenya, the moment that we have any election, maybe a by-election or the national, you have to spend a lot of money. And part of that money is used as emoluments for voters.
First of all, let me congratulate the new sheriff, the new sheriff in town, the new advocate. Yesterday also I met another guy, he's been years and then he was admitted to get. Then now I think all the institutions that are in this nation, they are watching me. I don't want to be left behind. Everybody is doing be an advocate. There must be something special. A man that goes back to school, I had attempted in 2015, I did 1 year, then because of a lot of I stopped. I'll go back and finish. Karanja, if you think I'm coming, I'm following now. Yeah,
he's an FCS, a CEO, vice.
We had an interaction. Now he's a big man. He's one of the CEOs in this nation. And he found that was not sufficient enough. Yeah. He went to do the congratulations, even having the strength and sacrifice to study, even as your children study, is a good thing. Well, let's go back to the cost of election. The cost of in election, by election, general election, you want to contest for a certain seat. People before they assess themselves, they want to see how much money they have before assessing their capacity.
Yeah.
No money in this world can give you capacity. For example, Karanja, having gone to the university properly and joining university, maybe I usually put in quotes at the right time, because he left secondary, then he went to the university. He has found that he needs to do law and become an advocate of High Court of Kenya. He will tell you that there is no money in this world would have bought those qualifications.
It's true.
He needed to go back to school and follow 4 years and go to Kenya School of Law and study. Because the Kenya School of Law is one of the institutions that not many people pass.
An additional 2 years to be specific.
Yeah, and not many people pass. They could be admitted to 2,000 and only 200 or less than that pass. That tells you there is no money, because he would have bought it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, why am I using this one? So that has come to the cost of elections. During the term of one Emilio Kibaki as the President of the Republic of Kenya, may his soul rest in eternal peace, he appointed the current Chief Justice as the Vice Chancellor for JKUAT. It's in the record. People can Google. Mother Koome. Mother Koome declined to take up the position. And she never just declined and walked away. She declined as a wise person. Because she wrote that Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, it is about sciences. I'm not a scientist. She declined, and that position was given to somebody who had the capacity. Yeah. And that one did not make her a weak specimen. It is from that point the gods conspired. And today, she's the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya against all odds. Because she never had a godfather here, and she was not connected as others. In fact, the ones who are connected, and that's why the Bible now comes in Jeremiah 17:5, that cursed is a man that trusts, who puts his trust in the strength of another man.
You today, you guys have really amazed me.
Those are the ones who put their trust in the ability of systems, deep state and structures, never got that seat. But Mother got.
Yes.
Why? Because she was given a position and declined because she said, I'm not fit to be the Vice Chancellor for JKUAT. Today, see where she is today. Yeah. So before spending your money,
that's a good one.
Institutions, you steal our money, or whether you steal or you deny. There are people also deny their families good livelihood, so that they can go and spend the money with Mutuas and Karanjas to please them. See, assess yourself. Can you be a leader, and what should we expect from you?
Okay.
Having said that, then, the cost of election in this nation is so much unnecessary.
Yes,
it's too
very
much.
lucrative.
Too much. Because everybody now, I met with another gentleman yesterday, and we are discussing about possibility of contesting.
Okay. We are running out. My director informs me we have run out of time. Unless you are just allow you to conclude your point.
I will conclude.
Yeah.
And the issue was how, yes, I know Nairobi. I know I'm known a good leader, voted across, but I don't have money. I told him there's nothing like money. Vision comes, then provision comes.
All right. Okay, and I totally concur, because we have the likes of Kina Toto, we have the likes of Kina Mwerigi in Meru, who, you know, they didn't have the deep pockets, but
the vision,
the people believe
vision is bigger than the money that you have. So if you are limited to the money that you have, then you are visionless.
All right. Unfortunately, and I'm sorry, we've really, maybe if you can do 2 seconds, but I have been, maybe?
Yes, I can do parting shot and say that as the Institute of Certified Secretaries, the governance, this is an area that we are working towards improvement of governance. And to add, because the topic was also on church governance and leadership, the Institute is also doing a lot in terms of promoting and enhancing capacity of church leaders on matters governance. Actually, at personal level, one of the latest books I have just published is Church Governance and Leadership. And as an institute, we are doing capacity building for church leaders on matters governance and leadership.
All right, that has been FCS Jeremiah N. Karanja, who is governance expert. He's also the CEO of Institute of Certified Secretaries, ICS, and also the latest, one of the latest advocates that we have, the newest advocates we have in the country. And thank you so much indeed. And your institution is doing a lot in terms of governance, and I would like to have this conversation with you again. Mheshimiwa Honorable Peter Mutua, Mutuku Mutua. I think I really need to apologize for that.
I'll be writing.
Peter Mutuku Mutua, who is a policy and governance expert and also the head of delivery unit, Nairobi City County. My name is Bentro Njue. Many thanks indeed for joining us, Lensa Odingo. We're helping out with Lensa Odingo. Now I think we have Carol Njoroge for the remainder of the program. Have a good afternoon ahead. Yeah.